Welcome back to Wrenching Wrecked. If you've been here, we did the little attempt at starting the iron head at the shop with the air filter. Thanks, Gary, you broke my bike. Just kidding. It makes perfect sense. I know it needs a couple choke enrichener circuit open to pull fuel in quicker, and it will not start if I leave the choke on as is. Adding an air cleaner richens up that mix, however slightly, but just enough. So we'll get that dialed. I'm not worried about it, but still runs great. Taking off, ripping around. But we're back at the house today. So Evo, where did we leave off? I might have noodled around with a couple things yesterday. Put the headlight back up here. There's a million grounds that we ripped off the triple tree mount. But on a 93, we do not have quick disconnects. If you got a later version, I don't know when they switched, but all the wires from this gauge cluster go into the headlight bucket. They do not have a little quick disconnect before the headlight bucket. So I put the eyebrow back up just to kind of see where everything was at. We should have enough on the brake line to make this work. Clutch cable should have plenty of room as well. I might have to pull it out from the triple trees. And for right now, these are the bars we're running. I don't love them. I'm probably going to end up switching these 2 or 3 times. I don't know exactly what I want yet. Don't know if I'm ready to go back to a T-bar setup. We'll see. Time will tell. I got 6-inch risers here now. Maybe I'll go 10 or 12-inch rise with straight bar. Well, straight with a slight pullback. I'm well past my days of straight, solid T-bars. I got to have a little bit of pullback to get up to the controls. And a lot of that is dependent on mid controls. So if anybody's got Evo Sporty mids, factory set, I'm interested. But I think I'm going to pop the front of the headlight off and start disconnecting some of that. And then we got a million wires to look at. I doubt we're going to finish this tonight. I don't have that long. But we'll try and see exactly what it is we're looking at. And then the only other issue that crossed my mind was the brake light stuff, which, remember how the brake light was stuck on? There's a switch right there. Actually, we could test that. Do I care enough? I don't know if it's the full end-all be-all. Throw you guys here. We'll hook these wires back up, color-coded. Like I said, I thought it looked a little bit brighter, and I don't know if that taillight bulb is good. I should have checked that while I had all of this apart, but that's 100% the brake light on. But I'm betting that if I push this little switch, oh, what do you know? Take my word for it. I don't know how wide angle this camera is, but here's the brake light. Goes right off. So I don't have a running tail light right now. That might be the bulb. I think that might have been busted before I took this all apart. We can mess with the grounds here real quick too. Let's see if I need that black wire. Yeah, it's not a ground, so we'll check the bulb, figure out what that is, but problem solved. Look at that, working brake lights. Woo! That's why I wasn't really too worried about it, especially when I had the front end all apart. I'm missing a ton of grounds up front. Taillight shouldn't be grounded up front anyway. I know it should be a 2-wire from here to up front. That'll be fine. So I can at least hook these back up the way they're supposed to be. So we'll put the connector back on. I thought 99% certain that connector was working, but I think the last time we took this out, the taillight was popped. So 2 Phillips screws on there. We'll check the bulb before we do any more diag on that, but it is the brake light switch up here. That's a win. So let me throw you guys up on the tripod. We'll dig into this headlight and see what this looks like. We're into uncharted waters for me. This is the newest bike I've worked on. Well, not ever, but the newest bike that I own that I've worked on. So I'm learning as I go. If I do anything wrong along the lines of doing this build, or you have better suggestions, please let me know in the comments, because this is way newer than my comfort zone. On to the front of the bike. Rip the bolts out of the headlight and drop this back down for now. And then we get to kind of see what's going on here. It does have a fancy LED upgraded headlight. Let's pop the Phillips screws out. We'll pull the whole front lens out. Standard visor here. Loosen your clip and then just work it around the rubber. Okay, internals. Bring you guys closer. Headlight bucket filled with wires and connectors. So I'm going to pop the headlight off, just throw this on the bench. Don't need to go breaking these fancy LED things. You got to do a dance when you turn the bike on. Get you in the mood, I guess. All right, so we got a bunch of connectors in here. I'm just going to disconnect a bunch of stuff. I do want to keep the gauges and the tack here. I think, as of right now, I'm kind of on the fence. I was running back and forth with what I want to do with that. I like the idea of keeping everything. I don't know. Do I have to do a pin out here? Oh, wait, no. There is one connector on the back of the headlight. Is that the whole tack? And we got one green and white wire. What is that one? Neutral switch? I don't know. Oh. Well, that was dumb. I don't think I had to pull this headlight out. There was one big quick connect on the back for all of the gauge lights, speedo, tack. All of this is in one spot. And this tack's busted anyway, so not busted, it worked, but it's not set up proper. So if I want to put that back on, I will. What else do we got here? Is this the heated grip or is this the turn signals? Turn signals. I'm just taking apart connections. And let me grab a wrench here for the speedo drive. So for right now, I'll basically just get this set up for running without any accessories whatsoever. Man, I gotta clean in here. It's getting real bad real quick. I don't know where my tools are. I don't know where any of my stuff is. So I'll break the speedo off. Mechanical drive. Oh, I'm gonna cut myself again. Whew. All right. So all of this will just go in a bin for now. I'm not disconnecting the speedo drive because it all worked. I like the idea of having a bike with gauges and a bunch of stuff that works, just because it's so out of the norm for my usual chopper self. There's that. So actually, the bulk of this can go back on for now. So I'm just gonna put back these connectors that we were playing with and pretend I didn't do all of this extra work. Not that it took long, but it should only go one way. Headlight. Probably should have started with that. Dogs are going nuts. I'll be right back. Silly neighbors walking their dogs thinking they own the neighborhood. Clearly, Shovel and Bailey are in charge of everything out here. So, I'm feeling a little bit better about this. We are going to ditch the turn signals on the front. I didn't go over that yet or take them apart yet, but these are coming off. I don't have the rears anyway. They rattled off on the side of the road, so those don't need to go back on. I don't use them. I hate when they're on anyway. So that should be just fine. Then, I don't know what else is in here. I think this was the heated grip connection. And the green and white wire off the top of my head, I don't know. That's fine. Let's put the headlight back up. Now that all the connections are done, we should be okay here. Just enough to hold that in place, and then I'll grab a ratchet because I don't have enough room. Hand tools, like a peasant. Just kidding. Alright, headlight can go back on. Really should have looked at this a little bit closer. I didn't realize that there was one quick connect on the back side of the headlight housing. Not that it's that big of a deal. That took a whopping 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. How long? 2, 5 minutes-ish. Where did I put my other headlight bolt? That's not where it's supposed to be. Okay, so we'll crank this down. I'm not doing a full final torque, just enough to keep everything in place, because I don't know how far I want to go in terms of taking off all of the clutch lever things to lay everything out. If we run this bar arrangement, we will have some problems. Right off the bat, turn signal leads are free here, so that's fine. That can come off. And heated grips can come off. Come on. There we go. So this is ugly, very ugly. Do I have enough to run it on the inside? Come on. Now that I just put the headlight right back in. Wrestle, wrestle, wrestle. Yes, we do. Okay, so this switch should work. I'll drop something like that. I think we got to extend that one. Not a lot of wiggle, but there's enough. Dimples right here, so that'll sit like that. Not the prettiest in the world at all. Coming in through the headlight, but there is a lot of lead here. How is that clipped in? Yeah. Okay, we got enough to make it work. This is all the way left, all the way right. Not pretty, but will physically work. What's that, low beam, high beam? So I think what I'm gonna do is, got this little plastic connector that runs all these wires through on a 90. We should be able to pull the wires back through that little boot a little bit farther. Hopefully that shows up, this thing right here. Try and pull a couple more inches of wire there, and then we'll just do the old zip tie trick up the riser and up the bar. Not going for show quality here, especially with bars that I don't know what we're actually running. So that's gonna be just fine. I guess I could run it back behind the headlight too if I get another inch or two. Would that free up any space? It might. Okay, let's pull the headlight one more time. I just want to get one side kind of visually set. Might only have to pull one bolt here. See if I can wrestle this behind the visor and up. Alrighty. Where did you go? What if we go this way? Oh yeah, much better. That helps. So that saved me plenty of room there. So that will work on this side. So we're going behind the visor and in front of the triple tree. It's got plenty of room. So that's good. Drop this bolt back in. Just enough, but if we come over to this side, oh, you guys fell backwards. There's the dimple, much better. If I can loop this, how crazy do we want to get here? Through the risers? Is there enough? Perfect. Look at that, nice and clean. Where's the dimple? That right there should work. As long as this lands somewhere in between there. Is there more room on the other side? I don't know. We'll finalize that once we get a little bit closer to the final install. But as of right now, there's plenty of room here for these switches. aesthetically, I don't know what looks better, if that's through the riser or just up and over. Problem solved for now. Again, if we want to clean this up, it's really not that hard. I just got to make a little extension to the plastic terminal block underneath the headlight. I can put extra in so we can reconfigure all sorts of different bars. Realistically, if I end up with a more straight bar, I have plenty of room. It gets a little short coming back on the pullbacks here. So this side is good. I'm going to call that good, because realistically, if I change anything here, I might do a set of mini apes on top of these 6-inch risers, which I think are 8 inches. And I'm guessing I have the room here. Time will tell. There was a time I used to have every single type of bar in the garage, and now I have nothing left. I keep selling all my good stuff, and then I need it, and I feel bad about selling it, but 'tis what it is. So now that we got the tack off, we have way more room than I anticipated here. So this one's already run back and through the triple tree. If I want to reroute anything, it'll take a little bit of work, not that big of a deal, but this right now is set up where it should be. So way more room on the right-hand side than the left. So let me lay this out. And these switch housings will fit here. All right, so these will clamp on here. We do have space, we do have room. Bars should lock into the dimple here. But this is coming through the tree and behind, up the side of the bars. This honestly doesn't bother me either, if it just sat here and was kind of pinched off and tight. But I don't see or anticipate this being a problem. There's the housing closed up. Plenty of room on the dimple. It's the nice part about running dimpled bars. They're not as clean looking, but if you are running the wiring, this will work just fine here. And then the brake lever should be just fine. I don't foresee this being an issue. So maybe I'll actually put the brake lever back on and get this roughly set. Tighten some of these things down and pretend we have a bike again. I know the throttle cables aren't hooked up, and I know I'm... did I get the grips? We'll see on that one. I might have them, I might not. Thought I ordered up a set, but... Alright, so we'll put this right at the end of the bar where the dimple kind of starts. Obviously, we're going to have to change the lever position accordingly, but... Brake lever is on. And I get to find all the hardware that I lost or randomly threw in one bag. Bear with me for a minute, folks. Remember when we drilled that bolt out of here? I should get that out. Let's do that first. Let me grab some vice grips. Okay, so if you're watching the video, yes, that was not the best approach. Do not recommend doing or drilling things that way. It's dangerous. Things can hurt you. And there we go. Now we have good, clean threads again. What do I need here? 1/4 20. We might only have one. One's all we need for the clutch. Now, on the clutch, there is a lot of leeway here. Right now it's run up the frame through the triple tree and over. I don't know if we're going to have enough room here. We are not. Well, not enough for me to be comfortable with it. So this needs to get fished back through here somehow. Or do I break the mirrors off first? Should have done this. If you are doing this, I will recommend disassemble your mirrors while it's still connected to the bars that were on there. trying to wrestle or move parts and things like this is kind of a pain. We can pull the circlip on the clutch, but I'd like to keep that intact for now. What are you, 1/2 inch? Come on, give me enough room. If there's not enough, just make some. All right, we win. So signals and mirrors are going to come off. Signal's gone. Mirror can go back on, but I'm going to pull that for right now. And now I might actually be able to fish this back through the bars, or through the triple tree. Might have to loosen the headlight one more time too. Split all your cables. Come on. Be good to me. If you care about your bike or your paint or all of your other stuff, don't do it this way. This is 100% wrong. And I still have to pull that headlight. This is why I like crusty things. Less bothersome. In my opinion, it'll still look a little bit better than it did. Either way. Now, if you are afraid to do that, well, don't be. It's not that difficult. But that little bit, taking this out from behind the triple tree, saves a ton of space in terms of your clutch cable routing. So a couple different ways. You can free up well, I like having the guide down low personally, not that I've done a lot of these newer ones. If it's too long for whatever reason, again, we're coming up and back. There's a good amount of pullback on these bars. If I went to a T-bar setup, I'd still be fine. Probably up to a 10 or 12 inch, I would guess, on the clutch cable. But this will be a good starting point. So let me find the other clamp and the bolts and get this at least mocked back up. I'll be back when that's put in. Well, we got a clutch. I don't remember what hardware I'm using. This is definitely not the right ones. But it'll do for now. So we're zipping these on. Snug, but not tight. Working clutch. And where are my wires? I don't know. This one runs through the back, so we're going to try it this way. Like so. Oh, there go the damn dogs again. Be right back. So for punishment, the dogs get to hang out in the garage with me. I don't know if that's really the punishment for them, because they like being out here most of the time. But I can't be doing this and worrying about them trying to... Really, it's just Bailey. She keeps trying to jump over the fence. Like she could survive on her own. Anyways, we are just about there. I don't remember what bolts go into the bottom of this or what size they are. Are you quarters? No. Yeah, this should do. Let's drop in a couple hard lines here, or bolts, I mean. I'm losing my mind. At least get these started on one side. And then we'll figure, oh, we got those purple grips. Those purple grips we got from the moped from Jeremiah. They were the 1 inch, not the 7/8. I don't know if I ordered the wrong ones or what. But he's sending me a fresh set for the moped, since the moped does run 7/8 inch bars. So we got those kind of sitting around. Come on. Make sure these are good on the dimple. Oh, the clutch goes in front of that, doesn't it? I'm an idiot. Whoopsies. Sitting here looking at this. Doesn't the clutch go in front? Now I don't remember on these. I never run the stock style, but it would make sense. Yeah, let's try it. Which way does this go? Yeah, it's gotta be. Do I just not have enough room? There's a groove. Do I need to pull it out of the bracket too? That would be inconvenient. And something I don't really want to do. I think this is how it goes. Somebody... Alright, so yeah, it has to. 100% has to. What am I fighting here? Dimple wiring? I don't think this clutch cable likes the current routing. It's a little on the short side with the bracketry down below. Where's the dimple on here? But I'd save a little bit more room if I do pull it out of that clip. But I like that clip. I feel like it belongs there. So let me run the wires down here and pinch them. I'll pinch them in between at least. Is that right? Now I'm lost. I'm doubting myself and running out of steam. So let me know, does the clutch go in front? I know I can just look up that one too. Does the clutch go in front or on this side of the levers? It seems weird that there's that little groove right there if this doesn't fit all the way in, but I don't really have any place for the wires to run either. So, because I know on this one, your brake goes first, and then the switch comes in, and that's what pushes on that little button on the other switch. So to me, it would make sense, especially with this groove. I just don't know how far that's supposed to slide over, or does the wire come across through here and run in between that clamp and the dimple? I don't know. That's where we're going to stop for now. Just kidding. I couldn't leave it alone. Making a bigger mess in the garage. I'm tripping over everything, so that needs to happen too, but I'm going to disconnect this clutch cable mount that I just said I kind of liked, which is true. I do like them, but it's in my way. And I will pick up a ton of room if it gets removed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that on the cable for right now. Well, I'm going to leave the mount there, but I am going to pop this off of the clutch cable. Come on. This will go right back on here in a second. Alright, so what we're going to do is keep this clip in case I decide to change my mind and switch back to a different set of bars. Get our bolt back in with the washer on the back. We'll put the motor mount back in. Now visually, it makes way more sense to take that off and leave it off. We don't really have a final setup on here. So now I'm going to pull the clutch cable off one more time, and unfortunately I have two different bolts in here. One Phillips and one Allen. Until we get the right parts, since we had to drill one of these out. So we'll loosen this up one more time, and I will pick up quite a good amount of slack, I think, by removing this. Well, taking it out of that little loop on the frame. There's a lot of room in cable routing. So now this is free. I come up through, sorry, gotta keep bringing you back down here. Come up through, around the primary. Come on. Like so. And then we'll try and straighten this out so I can at least get a straight pull at it. Oh yeah, plenty of room. Oh. Lo and behold, my entire problem was lack of clutch cable. Is that high enough? So just moving that bracket and moving the cable from the front of the motor mount to the back now gives me enough room to drop this right in where it's supposed to be. Still not sure on the wiring. Hopefully this is somewhat right. Make sure your bolts are going in straight since everything's very loosey-goosey. That. All right, feeling better. Feeling a lot better now. Grab our Phillips, wrong bolt. Get this one going. Once these start snugging up, I got enough room to shimmy these over and lay this out where it's supposed to be. The only issue is the wires. I don't like this. All right, let me loosen the bottom clamp. I want this to fit right into the groove, and I'm assuming there has to be a way to make it do that. So let's loosen our clamp. Enough to slip some wires through. And I think this should work within the dimple itself. If I can get this lined up proper. I'm not going to have enough wiring. That's the issue. Almost positive now, but ideally the clutch cable should sit right in here into that groove, and the wires should run up and in, which it wants to, but I don't like, see how tight this got? This is not good. You don't want to run it that way. Would I have more if I came to the front? This is a terrible video, isn't it? One guy just messing around in the garage trying to figure out how things go together. I guess that's what most of you are probably doing too, or have done several times. I'll tell you what I'm not gonna do. Pay 150 or 200 bucks for a wire extension kit. Not knocking them, but it's a lot of money that doesn't have to be spent. There's probably cheaper ones out there now too, with the whole Amazon and things. You don't know what color wires you're going to get, and you might have to figure it all out, and then it might end up being more work too, but okay, now give me a little bit more, not enough. Huh? Or am I just crazy and this doesn't? No, it has to. Yeah, that has to go there. All right, so that's kind of grabbing there. Come back, pull this up. Spin, spin, spin. Oh, yeah. So I wasn't crazy. Just don't have enough wire. So I was correct. Makes me feel a little bit better, even though it's still not done. There we go. So we're gonna have to free up a little bit more slack in that headlight housing for sure, because there is not enough there, but there is enough wire in that headlight housing. I don't need much. Probably need another inch. So I basically just need to, you guys can't even see what I'm looking at. I basically just need to yank this wire from the inside of the headlight bezel and get this to go back through its little cluster. All right, well, that's where we're gonna wrap this one up. For now, I'm gonna go in, eat some dinner. This is the cluster of wires that comes through here. So we will, maybe I can split this. Never want to stop working on things, do you? Come on. Right there. Right there. right there. So if this comes in just a little bit now, unfortunately, I think I do have enough room to run this behind the bars with that little bit pulled out of there. So basically what we're gonna do is drop this headlight off. This is the connector that was fighting me. You can also just put a grommet in here around this, re-tape off the wires a little bit farther down. I have plenty of room to hook up the actual headlight itself. And then now this would give me enough room to come back up and behind the bars all the way up to the riser. So thanks for bearing with me on this stupid project. Remember when it was running and riding and I didn't have to do anything? I apologize for all the I don't knows and I think and I have no idea. Deal with it. I'm learning with you, so enlighten me. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We will be back tomorrow. Just trying to get this running again. The weather's turning to crap, so there's not really any rush, but I've got too many projects going on right now. Moped needs some work. Garage is absolutely trashed and needs a very, very thorough deep cleaning, which I'm okay with when I'm working on something, but in the back of my head, that's bugging me the entire time. So one of these days in the next weekend, and we're slammed this weekend. I don't even have time to do that this weekend. Maybe we'll. I'll make time to clean the garage. Anyways, I'm rambling. We will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.